Last call at Sundown Saloon. In the waning light of a blood-red sunset, the town of Deadwood lay quiet under a veil of impending doom. Every dusty street seemed a bone laid bare under the weight of a dark omen, and at the heart of it all stood the Sundown Saloon. Its weathered wooden facade creaked, reminiscing of the good old days when mirth flowed as freely as the whiskey. But today, the air thrummed with tension, hanging heavy like a thundercloud ready to burst. Jack six-shooter Thompson rode into town, his worn leather boots thudding against the wooden boards of the main street. Dust billowed around him like ghosts desperate to escape a grave. There was a time when Deadwood was just another card game, another chance to forget the weight of his brother's death. That had changed when Red Baxter rolled in with his gang, turning the town's heart into a den of inequity. Jack felt the familiar fire of vengeance awaken within him, a double-edged sword that was equally tempting and treacherous. As he stepped into the saloon, a wave of warmth and chaos hit him. The scent of whiskey mingled with cigar smoke and the distant laughter of men frolicking between fleeting moments of despair. But Jack knew better than to heed the mirth. It was a mask worn by desperate men. His eyes swept the room, landing on the hulking figure of Red across the bar, his presence casting a shadow darker than any night. The moment was electric, like the tense silence before a summer thunderstorm. Jack approached the bar, trying to ignore the way his heart struck against his ribs. Just as he opened his mouth to speak, a loud crash erupted, a nearby table overturned amidst a drunken brawl. Glass shattered like the crystal dreams of a town without hope, and in that moment, every eye turned towards the impending storm. "Seems like trouble's brewing," Jack remarked, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. "You're going to answer for what you've done, Baxter." Red's icy eyes gleamed as he leaned back, arms crossed over his broad chest. "You think you can play the hero here, Thompson? You're a one-eyed Jack in a deck full of jokers." His words dripped with disdain, an invitation to the inevitable showdown. The tension snapped like a dry twig underfoot. The saloon erupted into chaos as fists flew, but amidst the commotion, Jack and Red circled each other like hawks preparing to dive. It was clear this was no longer just a verbal exchange, it was the calm before the storm. Jack's hand danced near his pistol, nerves taut like a bowstring drawn back. This time, he would not falter. In a heartbeat, Red reached for his gun, sending a bullet whistling towards Jack. Instinct kicked in, Jack dove sideways, the shot singing the air above him as he returned fire, a single shot that shattered the tension. But Red ducked behind a table, using the chaos to his advantage. The saloon filled with the cacophony of guns and the desperate cries of onlookers caught between fear and violence. Yet, amidst the pandemonium, Jack's mind churned with the ghosts of the past. Memories flooded back, his brother's face, a mixture of laughter and terror, before falling victim to Red's ruthless gang. Jack's resolve fortified, there was no turning back now. He had come seeking justice, and this man would not escape his reckoning. Just as Jack steadied himself to shoot again, the world turned on its axis. A thunderous explosion tore through the back of the saloon, the force throwing Jack and the remnants of Red's men to the ground. Smoke curled through the air in disorienting waves, obscuring vision and leaving the outline of chaos in disarray. "Get out of here," someone yelled, echoing through the thick haze of dust and confusion. The townsfolk scattered like frightened rabbits, seeking the safety of the shadows. Through the swirling smoke, Jack's heart raced as he struggled to regain his footing. He could hear Red's laughter, now muffled and distorted. "You think you can come here and play cowboy? Let's see how fast you really are, Thompson." As Jack stumbled to his feet, clutching his holster, he caught a glimpse of something, or someone, emerging from the smoke. It was a shadowy figure, tall and imposing, moving with a languid grace. Was it a friend in the line of fire, or another foe waiting to deliver a fatal blow? "Jack," a familiar voice called out from the silhouette, sending a jolt through him. It was Abby, the local barmaid and a fierce spirit of the town with emerald eyes that burned with determination. But before Jack could respond, Red took aim, his gun drawn once more, and Jack felt the sharp sting in his shoulder as a bullet ripped through him. He staggered, falling against the bar, blood soaking his shirt, a crimson flag of their bitter rivalry. Darkness crept into the corners of his vision, and panic surged within him. Red tilted his head, a devilish smirk plastered across his face. "You think you're a hero, Thompson? You and I are not done yet." Jack gripped the bar to steady himself, adrenaline rushing through his veins as he prepared to take one final stand. The stakes had never been higher. Deadwood's fate hung on the precipice of this fateful encounter. Would he rise once more against the tides of darkness, or would he succumb to the horrors that threatened to engulf him whole? The smoke thickened, blurring the line between life and death, justice and vengeance, hero and monster. The final confrontation loomed. The showdown at the Sundown Saloon was just beginning, and only time would reveal whether Jack could shoot his way to redemption or fade into oblivion amidst the bloodshed of a town lost to tyranny. As the curtains fell on that fateful night, the world outside continued to spin, while the question of Jack's fate hung like a dew-laden blossom in the shadows, delicate, uncertain, and ready to burst into the light at any moment.